let's go. Hey, casual wrestling community show. You already.
So we have, with Paige teasing a return to pro wrestling and acknowledging Britt Baker's tweets on Twitter. The rumor is that Paige has already signed a contract with AEW and is waiting for the right time to debut. What are your thoughts on another WWE X-Star going to AEW?
So every time we get this question, because it seems like it happens at least once a month now, that somebody with an WWE background gets sent over to AEW or gets signed by AEW, and we're supposed to pretend like Tony Khan never made certain comments that Tony Khan made. And what I did is I went back to 2000, I don't remember what the year was, but I went back and found an article with direct quotes from Tony Khan. And these are direct Tony Khan quotes. He says, "We're spending a ton of money on talent. We're building a great roster, a big and diverse roster of talent. I think that's what's important, and that is that everybody brings something different, but additive. The key thing is that we're not going to just sign every single talented person out there. You can't." And it was one of the problems with WCW. It was that there were too many people under contract. A lot of them were super talented and super great. If you were going to cut down their contracts, you'd be making some really tough decisions because there were a lot of great people under contract in WCW, but you just don't need that many people under contract. Why does that sound like the epitome of what AEW is right now? AEW is signing up all of the talent that WWE lets go. They're signing all of those people. Yeah, you bought Ring of Honor and you're pretending that's a separate company, but let's not kid yourself. Everybody's on the AEW roster. So here we go. We're signing Paige, and I don't have a problem with Paige being signed, because if I could sign Paige to a company, that's someone I definitely would sign. But you have to look deeper into like the details of the issues, because I go with someone like Paige. Why did WWE stop using Paige?
Because they couldn't medically clear her.
That's
right?
My understanding. I believe it's probably that. I believe there was a little bit of Paige tarnished her image a little bit in WWE with some of the stuff that came out, but I think it's more importantly that she never got fully like WWE was never comfortable enough with her stepping back in the ring. So all of a sudden now Paige gets signed to AEW. Now we don't know that she's going to wrestle. She may just be in a managerial role. She may just be, a mentor to people. We don't know. But it feels like she's going to wrestle. It feels like the way she's tweeting that she's hinting at getting back in the ring, that she has a hunger to get back in the ring. What does Paige have left in the gas tank? Can she still go?
I think that all depends on if she's actually medically cleared or not.
And how much wrestling has she been doing, and how much working out has she been doing? How much, I don't know, right? How much rust will be there? Will she come in and when you're rusty and you have certain injuries, there's a chance that you could get hurt. And I do believe when I look at this stuff, and AEW continues to sign people from WWE who have either maybe a little bit of injury proneness or some life problems. Look at Jeff Hardy. They bring in Jeff Hardy after a lot of people were like, Jeff Hardy's not in good shape. Don't bring him in. He's not in a good place. They bring him in. Hey, man, you clearly can see he's not in the right state of mind.
Everybody came out and was like, no, he's fine. And
then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, what the fuck? With Paige, you go, hey, if she's still even a little bit hurt, what happens in AEW when one of these people who do come over? Bryan Danielson came over. He's got some brain things, right? Some concussions.
Yeah.
He gets another concussion and you bring him back again. So you continue to put these cash cows back in the ring. And now let's get this straight. These are grown ass people.
True.
These people, it's not Tony Khan's fault. But to a certain extent, he does need to protect these people. But these are grown-ass people. Bryan Danielson knows the dangers. Paige knows the dangers. These people know the dangers. But AEW needs to know those dangers. What if Paige shows up in WWE, has a match with Britt Baker, takes the wrong bump, and ends up paralyzed? What happens at that point from a company standpoint? Because AEW's been extremely lucky up until this point that they haven't had a catastrophe of an injury.
I guess that's true.
You look at Darby Allin has done.
Will only time tell? I mean, is it like inevitable for something to happen?
It feels like it,
right?
Look at Darby Allin. So. Darby Allin's jumping off a fucking and I get that the Hardy Boys have all done this, but that doesn't make it the right thing to do. Darby Allin's doing crazy shit. Sammy Guevara is doing crazy shit. Cody Rhodes is doing crazy shit. So AEW is allowing some of this batshit crazy shit to happen. And I get it's good for ratings. Wrestling fans love it. But what happens when Paige tries it? What happens when Bryan Danielson does something or something just a freak accident? I know you can't blame them, but I do think it will tarnish AEW a little bit. I don't know that WWE is a safer company. I don't believe that for a minute. Pro wrestling has its dangers. And like I said, these are grown people who know what they can and can't do.
Would you say that WWE takes less risk?
Lately, I would. I think that they're way more calculated. That's kind of what I had written down here, was that I think WWE is more calculated. When they do these big spots these days, I think there's more of a plan than just, oh, the crowd's going to fucking love this, right? When Darby Allin jumps off of a ladder onto a fucking cascade of chairs that are sitting out the ring, I don't think there's a lot of planning that goes into that. I think that's just, hey, I'm Darby Allin. I do a lot of crazy shit, and I could get a great pop out of this. And that's awesome for Darby Allin, but how long can he realistically wrestle like that? What happens when Darby Allin can't do that shit anymore? Those guys, their shelf life is going to be short. Or you end up like Jeff Hardy, I guarantee you Jeff Hardy's in so much pain that drugs make sense to him. I mean, when you've done the shit he's done, when you've jumped off ladders and jumped off stages, you've got to be in pain. I don't know. I mean, I don't think WWE is a safer company, and I don't blame AEW for this. I just go, when someone like Paige is going to wrestle in AEW, possibly, the speculation is, I think that you have to wonder, like, is the risk worth the reward from AEW's standpoint, from Paige's standpoint? How medically cleared is she?
I mean, I think for Paige's standpoint, yes, because if she really truly loves wrestling, she's going to want to do it no matter what. I think that's how, Daniel Bryan or Brian Daniel
phenomenal
felt.
That some of these people, they're written off as having, and like WWE is not guilty of this. Edge came back from an injury that they said would never be okay. But to me, like, the clearances, you heard about the clearances Bryan Danielson had to get to return to WWE, he continually presented these doctors evidence, and they were just like, we're not sure, we're not comfortable. And finally he got them to listen. So if WWE wasn't letting Paige wrestle, I guarantee you there's some kind of medical evidence that says, like, the risk, sure, there's a risk here, be it whatever WWE, it may be 5%, right? Mm-hmm. They go, there's a 5% risk that you could get extremely injured.
Yeah.
But that's too much for WWE. If Tony Khan's like going, fuck it,
let's go.
5%, you said? Mm-hmm. Like, and I don't know, like, maybe he's not doing that.
That means there's a 95% chance it doesn't happen.
All right, let's move on to number 6.